move too quick. Yeah, you might put them on one.
Or she'd stick her head in the mouth because it was big and cool.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome out to the St. Augustine Alligator Farm and welcome to our feeding demonstration. My name is Amy. We do have some very special guests joining us out here today. They are from a zoo out in the Czech Republic, and they are known for having the first hatchling in Europe of those Indian gharials. So we are very, very pleased to have them here. They're going to be joining us for our feeding demonstration. Before we get started out here, I have a quick safety announcement for everyone. If you have something with you that is not attached to your body, so all of those cameras, cell phones, water bottles, cups, maps, sunglasses, hats, anything that you could possibly drop, please make sure that you don't hang it over the edge of the enclosure. There's hungry alligators down there. Also, do not allow anything to sit on the fence posts or on top of those feed machines. I love pointing out that we're in a feeding area during feeding time. If something falls into the swamp right now, it usually makes a big splash, and the alligators get really excited thinking that it's a food item, and they swim over and eat whatever just fell in. So that usually means if you drop your cell phone in the swamp right now, I really don't think I can get that back for you, even if it is waterproof. So it's best to just hang on to it from the very start. Also, for safety purposes, we do usually prefer that you don't carry children on shoulders. If you have a young child with you that wants to get a better view, it should be okay to hold them in your arms. As long as you kind of turn away from that front railing, also be mindful of the railing behind you. If you have a young child in your arms, please try to stand in the center of the walkway. Alrighty, now that we have safety out of the way, you might have also heard me mention that this is just a feeding demonstration. The reason I say it like that is because there are about 250 American alligators as well as 2 American crocodiles out here in our swamp. So if it looks like I didn't bring enough food for everyone, well, you're absolutely right. This is just a small demonstration on how we feed this area. Normally when I do full swamp feedings, I toss out right around 300 pounds of food at one time just to make sure everybody gets a good meal. But if today it looks like somebody doesn't get the opportunity to eat, don't worry about them. There's plenty of other opportunities to get a snack. Okay, now that we have all of that said and over and done with, we can go ahead and get started feeding. The first food item I brought along is actually the main diet for all of the crocodilians here. That's this dry little biscuit right here. Now these are literally called croc pellets because it's a food designed specifically for these animals, and it's made by a feed company that makes all kinds of exotic animal foods called Missouri. Now, fun fact about Missouri, they're actually a part of another feed company I'm sure we've all heard of before. They're actually a part of Purina. So they got together with some crocodilian biologists, such as the ones you see here, some veterinarians, and even some staff members from right here at the alligator farm, all trying to determine what these animals need in their diet in order to live long, happy, healthy lives. Now, once they found all those key nutrients, they put it right here into these dry little biscuits. Now, the reason we really love feeding these out so much, you'll see as we're tossing them out into the water, that they're floating right on the surface. Okay, you guys want to hold on to that bucket? Perfect. I'll grab this one from here. So with it floating on the surface like this, it's easy for the animals to see, but hey, it turns out it's also easy for us as keepers to see. If it looks like somebody's getting a little bit too much or not quite enough, we can tell almost immediately. And with small biscuits like this, we can easily adjust their diet. It's very easy to give one of them a little bit less or a little bit more or whatever it is that that individual requires. Plus, I'm sure you can tell by the alligator's reaction out here that they do really love these pellets. In fact, we have some individuals that prefer these dry biscuits over any other food item that we try to offer them. But today, I will be offering a second food item. It's something that we call a whole food item. Now, just like our own diet, there are a wide variety of different types of foods that I can offer them. Because even for us, if we have something that we call a favorite food, it turns out it can be rather unhealthy, and honestly, a little bit boring to be eating the same thing every day for the rest of your life. So there's lots of different things I can feed out as a whole food item. But when it comes to this feed demonstration, I actually have a personal favorite, and I've brought some with me today. I'm going to be giving them some nice, juicy rats. Yum, right? I know, it can be a little gross feeding out rodents like this, but again, it's very natural and it's very healthy for the alligators to get a whole food item. Mostly because this is just that. This is the whole food. Whenever they eat this, not only are they getting meat, but they're also getting fur and bones and guts and all of that really good stuff that comes in one package that is a little more like their wild diet. So while I'm trying to get somebody interested in jumping up for this, I'm going to give you guys some history about the park first, because St. Augustine is all about history, right? Well, the Alligator Farm has been here for over 125 years, and our zoo is committed to the highest standard of animal care that does contribute to the larger picture of wildlife conservation and education. And it turns out you too can help. Small changes really do make a big difference. Now, if that's something that you're interested in, you can actually get more information by checking out our website, or even easier than that, talk to a zookeeper. So we're not originally founded right here. This isn't our original location. In 1893, we got started right across the street where the Anastasia State Park is. But in the early 1920s, there were some natural disasters, like hurricanes, floods, wildfire, things that typically happen in Florida, and that brought us over to where we are today. Now, in 1937, we were purchased by the Drysdale family, and they took us from a park that had just American alligators to the awesome zoological park you get to see today. Hey, buddy, I wasn't expecting you to jump that high. That was awesome. Did you guys see that awesome jump? Okay, let's get back to it. So, we went from a park that had just American alligators to the awesome park you get to see today. We have all 24 species of crocodilians, and we have other really cool exotic birds, mammals, and reptiles. But hey, let's get back to these reptiles that are right here in front of us for the most part, these American alligators. They are what we call generalist carnivores. All right, which means they will generally eat any kind of meat that they can find. But they're also what we refer to as opportunistic carnivores, which means they don't always know when their next meal will be. So they take any opportunity to grab whatever might be available. So that can include something small like an insect floating on the surface of the water, lizards, or even a snail. Now I know that might sound a little strange to you that there's large carnivores like this out in the wild surviving off just snails and lizards, but some of them do have enough fat storage on their bodies so that if they absolutely had to, they can go an entire year with just 80 to 90 pounds of food. Listen, that might sound like a lot if you think about that as one meal, but stretched out over the course of an entire year, 80 to 90 pounds of food is like you or I eating just one sandwich a week and being perfectly satisfied with that small amount. So one reason why they're able to go so long with just a little bit of food, because they're reptiles. They're cold-blooded reptiles, which means they're not constantly burning up calories in their body just to stay warm like us mammals. Now, if an alligator wants to warm up, all they have to do is lay out in the sun and bask like most reptiles do. So because they're not using up those calories all the time, they don't have to be eating all the time to replace it, which ultimately just translates to alligators don't eat nearly as much or as often as people think that they do. Some of our largest crocodilians here in the park eat just once a week. That's perfectly natural and even recommended for reptiles this size. But we do have some very large alligators out here. Some of them are close to 12 feet long. I bet you can imagine once you get to be that large of a predator, well, you have your pick of basically any prey item that gets too close to the water's edge. They can even take down